welcome everybody to this episode of Ask Bonbon, where we bring you the people and the tools to create a life that you love and have conversations that matter most. Today's guest is not only an incredible woman who is a global philanthropist and doing absolutely amazing things in the world, she is also one of my very dear friends and someone that I absolutely love. So today I am so thrilled to introduce all of you viewers to Miss Lisa Rueff. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on the show.
So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Lisa and how I came to know her, and then I'm going to turn things over to her because she has some stories that will absolutely inspire you and make you believe that you truly can make a difference in the world. So I met Lisa probably about 8 years ago now, I'd say, or maybe even a little bit longer, in Sausalito, California. And she was just this beautiful, bouncy, bubbly blonde that I kept seeing every single day. So I would go to yoga, there's Lisa. I would go out for a glass of wine, there's Lisa. I would go paddleboarding, there's Lisa. And finally, one day, I don't know who talked to who first, but we were on the corner. It was an art festival. And we just said, hey, we should be friends because we keep seeing each other. And then we started talking about what we did. And she was doing massage and yoga, and I was doing coaching. So we decided to do a trade and became fast friends ever since. And I have been beyond impressed with this woman and what she has created and the difference that she makes in so many thousands of people's lives. So Lisa, I would love for you to tell our viewers the story of how you went from being a yoga teacher, being just in your community doing great things, and then all of a sudden transforming and going and doing things around the world.
So I was leading yoga, teaching yoga classes and leading yoga workshops, and I also led retreats. I've been leading yoga retreats for years to really beautiful places like Hawaii and Bali and Costa Rica. And the earthquake happened in Haiti in January of 2010. And I just felt very compelled to go down to Haiti and see what I could do. And I got down as early as I could. I didn't have any first aid experience or disaster relief, so I got down to Haiti in May of 2010, and I was just blown away by my experience. I found that in the first couple days, I was able to make tangible differences in people's lives. And I knew my life would forever be changed. I already started plotting and planning coming back to Haiti and leading a yoga retreat where I could bring yoga participants, and together we could work hand in hand with our host communities to make a difference in people's lives.
So here's what I love so much about you, and this is a topic that we cover often on the show, is here you made a decision. You did something that most people want to do after a disaster happens. They want to contribute, they want to help. But not only that, you were there, and then you decided you wanted to do more. You wanted to go bigger and, and really make a difference in people's lives. And so what do you feel drives you? What do you believe that makes you think, wow, I can create this?
Well, in my heart, I feel like we have the opportunity to do great things every day, and we can make a tangible difference in people's lives. I've just seen time and time again that, especially with the help of others, that you can truly make any dream come to fruition, and really believing in yourself. I love the idea that the word impossible, when you break it down, it actually translates as I'm possible. And what's been amazing to me is on the trips that I've been leading to Haiti, and now I lead trips worldwide to developing countries where there's a need for assistance, that I've met the most incredible leaders, people who've started orphanages, people who've started foundations for kids and women in need. And in Haiti, for instance, I just got back from Haiti yesterday morning. There's a woman there who doesn't have many resources. Her name is Bonite, and she feeds over 300 children in one day. She feeds senior citizens. She provides clothing for people in tent cities as well as people in need. She has a rice and bean distribution center. She feeds prisoners twice a month, and she has a myriad of other programs that she single-handedly, with the help of other women in her community, provides. And again, she doesn't really have that much, but everything she has, she distributes. And it's really just unbelievable to see how you can truly make a difference in people's lives. So I witness that on a daily basis of people giving of themselves and strong perseverance and dedication, and it inspires me every day to do more.
I love that. So, and I believe, isn't Bonit close, she 76, 77 years old now?
She is. But she's so dynamic, and what she is able to do in one day, some people don't achieve in a lifetime. It's really incredible to watch her.
It is incredible. I have been there firsthand. I was on one of Lisa's first trips to Haiti, where she brought 16 people from our local community. She put us through a program where we've raised funds and then actually went to Haiti and helped to build one of the first dental clinics and do a lot of repair in some of the orphanages. And this was one of the facilities that we were able to work with, and it's absolutely incredible. So, Lisa, one of the stories that we commonly talk about is how, again, one person can make a big difference in the world. And obviously, Bonit is one of those people that's out there doing that. I'm sure that you have some incredible stories working with all of the children. Can you tell our viewers, just a couple of the beautiful spirits and a couple stories of the children that you've met along the way?
Absolutely. I actually just got back from Haiti, and I work with a school there called the Art Creation Foundation for Children, and they have taken 100 of the most impoverished children off of the streets that had never had prior schooling. They couldn't afford even the minimum cost of school. And this foundation provides 2 meals a day. It provides a regular education and an art education in the afternoon. And these kids are thriving. They are making everything from city block long mosaic walls to paper mache to paintings to photography. And it's really unbelievable to see some of these kids who live in such poverty still making so much beauty in their hometown. Like everywhere you walk, you see these gorgeous mosaics that are so colorful. The first mosaic wall they created was a wall of hope, and it was after the earthquake, and there were all these trees and flowers, and it was this symbolic wall that even despite having lost so much, that there's so much hope and beauty in the everyday. And these kids, I show up. I actually just led my 17th trip to Haiti in the past 4 years. And I get greeted with 5-minute hugs. They're so appreciative. They're so grateful. So it's just been really incredible to see. And this trip that I led, we actually hired one of the students from this art school to be our photographer. And so it was really exciting for us to be able to hire a child that 5 years ago had never picked up a camera and had no previous education and is now working so hard to put himself through school. He's making great grades. And every single one of these kids at this art school are just thriving, and they're working so hard. It's really incredible to see that they take nothing for granted, and they are just so appreciative.
That is amazing and incredible. And I believe you're just, you said you've led 17 trips there, and one of your big initiatives is that you were able to contribute into building a very large sleeping and housing facility for orphans. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Sure. So I had mentioned earlier Bonit Afriani, who actually is from New York, or she lived in New York many years. She's originally from Haiti, and she expressed on my first trip that I led down there with participants that what actually happened was these 3 little girls showed up at her center, and they had nowhere to go. They had come from a very abused situation, and they showed up. They were so dirty and tired and hungry, and she immediately embraced these 3 girls. They were like 10 years old, and she let them know, you're safe now, welcome in, and she got them clothes and a warm bath, and got them a plate of food. And then she brought me outside of the center, and she was like, I want you to come with me. And she pointed up the hill to this area that she gave land for people to live on at the time. She like had a tent city after the earthquake, and she said, this is my land, this is my property, and my dream is to be able to house these children. I want to have an orphanage. And I don't have the means to build it, but once it's built, I would be able to really provide for a lot of these kids, not only nurturance and love, but education. And so that seed was planted in me, and I knew that I had to at least try to make a difference. And through a lot of grassroots fundraising, we raised enough money to build a 12,000 square foot home and school. And we just got 40 solar panels put into the center, the roof of the center. So I went down and got to see that. So we are totally off the grid. We are not relying at all on electricity there, which can be very challenging in this area to have reliable source of electricity and energy. So now we've got solar panels, and it's one of the most beautiful buildings, this 12,000 square foot home and school. And again, we just did it through my husband and I, Philip Schneider. We did all the fundraising through friends and family and grassroots efforts, and so many people stepped forward to help us. And we have a nonprofit named Random Acts that is a 100% volunteer-based organization, and all of the money that we raised was funneled through them. So 100% of the proceeds we raised went directly to this children's home and school.
Amazing. Amazing. Again, the story of one person can have an idea and make a big difference in the world. It's hard for people to believe what goes on there, and I want you to tell some more stories of things that you've seen. But I know that when I was at Bonit's facility, you would see these children come in, of the 300 plus children she is feeding each day, and it's like nothing you've even probably most people have ever experienced or could conceptualize. You would have a 3 or 4 year old that's carrying an infant on their back, and they walked sometimes in bare feet, 2 to 3 hours just to get to this facility just so they could have food, because that's all that was available to them. So to fast forward just a couple of years and know that you have created a home for hundreds of people that literally have nothing is truly remarkable and inspiring.
Well, thank you.
So tell us, I know that you went on and you're currently doing your own company, Yoga Ventures, where you're taking people on these trips around the world. But for a period of time, I understand that you were working with Richard Branson. Can you tell our viewers just a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I had the honor and great privilege of getting to go to Necker Island, which is his private island. And although he invites many guests to come and enjoy this absolutely exquisite place he gets to call home. And my friend that invited me to come on the trip, her name is Gina Murdoch, and she, excuse me, she and I had just led a yoga retreat to Peru, a volunteer yoga retreat where not only did we get to see the sacred sites of Peru, Machu Picchu, and Cusco and other magnificent places, we also did a lot of giving back in the community. We visited orphanages. We worked with indigenous tribe and village, helping to build a garden. And she and I were both so inspired by our experiences that when we went to Peru, we came up with the idea of pitching to Richard Branson Virgin Volunteers. He has many companies under the Virgin brand, so we this wonderful idea to come up with a new brand or a new company under the Virgin name that basically provides people with travel opportunities and experiences of giving back to the host communities that they're visiting. And Richard immediately said, yes, let's do it. I love the idea. And we started off actually working with his nonprofit called Virgin Unite, which is the philanthropic arm that ties all the Virgin companies together. And I had the great honor and pleasure of getting to travel and plan a trip with Her Majesty Queen Norda Jordan, where we got to work with all of these different programs that she has created through the King Hussein Foundation. And then I also got to help lead a trip with Sir Richard Branson to South Africa, where he has a center, Branson Center of Entrepreneurship, and we also got to work with this incredible organization called the Starkey Hearing Foundation that provides people with the opportunity to hear. They have this unbelievable program worldwide where they bring hearing aids and they outfit people who've not been able to hear maybe their entire life in some pretty devastating communities, the opportunity to get to hear. And that was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had, is to be able to put hearing aids in people's ears. And slowly, as I was turning up the volume of people's hearing aids, the smiles on their faces just started to lift and lift and lift. And so remarkable experiences through Virgin. It was actually through Virgin Unite. They're called connection trips.
Incredible. Wow, that's a pretty impressive story as well. So, and then from there, as if that wasn't enough, you did some work with Michael Franti. Can you tell the viewers just a little bit about that experience?
Absolutely. So Michael Franti is a world-class and world-famous musician, and he has a band called Spearhead. So it's Michael Franti and Spearhead. And in April of 2013, he and his partner, who's an emergency room nurse, her name is Sara Aga, they came up with this idea of creating a foundation that provides people with life-threatening illnesses, children with severe challenges, and wounded veterans live concert experiences, and for these people to be able to meet and greet their favorite artists. And when they told me about the idea, it was still in its very infancy stages, this foundation. They still hadn't come up with a name of it yet. And I immediately said, I want to help. I love the idea. I personally know how transformative and healing music is, so I want to help. And so it was wonderful. I got to help them from the beginning come up with not only the name of the foundation, but the way it was going to be run. And so I was the executive director for the first year and a half. And I'm now still doing special events with them, as well as helping to fundraise for them. And in the first, I want to say, year and a half, the foundation has granted over 250 wish grants. And I have been very honored to have gotten to be present for a lot of those wish grants. And it's astounding to see a wounded veteran get to share with Michael Franti how much of a difference Michael's music has made in his life when he was on tour, and now once he's been suffering post-traumatic stress disorder, and then to be able to bring families of a child who was born with cerebral palsy just for a night out, just to enjoy and celebrate life. And people, I got to visit some, what's the word I'm looking for? Hospices, where people have requested musicians to come, and to get to orchestrate that, in the last days of someone's life, to be able to provide them with their favorite musician, with their family and friends present, is just, it's unbelievably moving, touching, heartfelt, and life-changing for a lot of people.
Wow, I can't even imagine. That must be so powerful to be able to give that gift. So what's next for you on the horizon? What are some of your fun upcoming trips, and what are some of the goals that you want to accomplish in making even more change in the world?
Well, I'm really excited to come back to Haiti in May of this upcoming year. And then I've got trips to Ecuador. I'm going to be partnering with the Pachamama Alliance that works hand in hand with indigenous leaders in the rainforest of Ecuador. And they've saved millions and millions and millions of acres of rainforest from being destroyed. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be going to Cambodia and leading a trip. I now sponsor a Cambodian little girl that I met last year with the Cambodian Children's Fund. And this is an organization that provides over 2,000 children that were basically abandoned It provides them an opportunity. It provides them housing, education, love, nourishment, and these kids are thriving. And we're also going to be working with another part of their program called the Granny Program, which provides an older generation of women and men, so it's the granny and the grandpa generation, an opportunity to, they are provided with meals from some of the younger kids of the organization, and in turn they teach the kids about Cambodian culture, arts, so it's a really beautiful, thorough program. And then I've got a trip to Peru coming up. And what I love to do is I also love to revisit all the organizations each year that we've established contact with. And so there's an ongoing philanthropic element to the trips that continue to help support the organizations, as well as share with new participants all of the different missions and services that these organizations are providing.
Incredible. Well, I hope to be on a couple of those trips, and isn't that just the best when you have your orphan in an amazing country that just steals your heart and you're able to make a difference. As you know, I'm in love with Angela at the Faith and Love Orphanage in Haiti.
I just saw her.
I know. I know. She's growing up to be a beautiful young little woman, so I'm very proud. But it is really amazing to see over the years, as you said, the difference that these organizations are able to make in these lives, and to see the children thrive and to see them grow and heal and transform. So thank you so much, Lisa, for all of the work that you do. What is one parting thought that you would like to leave people with if they're watching and they're thinking, wow, this woman is very inspiring and I would really like to make a difference myself in the world? What would you encourage people to do?
I would encourage people to know that they can make a difference, whether it's big or small, and that I find what's really helped me and different people I know when I've given them advice is what tugs at your heart, what breaks your heart, and how can you start to even make one step in making a difference in someone's life with what you're most passionate about, what you want to create, the kind of change you're going to want to make in the world. And you can do it. You know, just change the word from impossible to I'm possible.
That's great advice. Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it, especially I know you're a little jet lagged from just flying in from Haiti, but I really just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time and sharing your story, and for all the work that you do and inspiring all of our viewers that you can do it. If you want to make a difference and you want to make a change, it is possible, and you are possible. So thank you so much. And
you're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. We hope to have you back again soon for more stories.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been the Ask BonBon Show, where we interview some of the most interesting people on the planet, and we give you the tools and the strategies to create a life that you love. Bye for now.